She looks down with contempt on the hard-working Americans, saying that ignorance is pervasive in many parts of this country. And obviously and importantly, Omar has a history of launching vicious anti-Semitic screeds.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about what you just saw, which was a snippet from the Trump rally that was held yesterday, Wednesday, July 17th, 2019 in Greenville, North Carolina. You're able to clearly hear the crowd chanting, "Send her back, send her back, send her back." Now, I'm not even going to lie to you. I'll be all the way real. I laughed hysterically when I first heard that, and then I joined in the chanting myself right on my couch in my living room. I felt the energy, although I was not actually at the place in the arena or anything like that. Now, there is a lot to quote unquote unpack here, as the cool kids would say. It's not just about the chanting or Ilhan Omar, which was the subject of the chant. It's about the media. It's about regular normies. It's about a lot of different people. But let's start from the very beginning and explain why the chant was happening. Now, like I said, the subject of the chant was a congresswoman from Minnesota, Ilhan Omar. Trump was speaking about her because he had to. You know, he come under fire for some comments about the quote unquote squad. Remember the whole thing about go back to your country, this, that, and the third. He's still facing some kickback from that. So it's like, okay, we have a rally in North Carolina. I'm going to go out here and give a speech and really break down what's going on with these people and why I made those comments. I thought the entire speech was good, or at least what I was able to see before I did my own stream. And if you want to see that full thing, I'll link to it in the box below. But in this particular point, when the chant happened, he was talking about Ilhan Omar. Now, she is a Somali-born person. She came to the United States when she was 10 years old, legitimately seeking asylum from the terrorism and whatnot that was happening in Somalia. And we granted her asylum here in the States. Now, she has made a lot of comments that were negative, anti-America, and that's what Trump was running down. I mean, some things about having pro-BDS bills in Congress, you know, BDS, that's an anti-Israel thing from quote unquote Palestine. A lot of things, you know, blaming the U.S. for the crisis in Venezuela and Somalia. And the biggest offense of all is a whole some people did something when she referred to 9/11. She was talking to a group of Islamic people. She's also Islamic. And then she was saying that since some people did something, it put all of us in danger and we had to fight back. And I think that's the reason she gave for the organization known as CARE, which is an Islamic relations thing in America. That's why they were formed. That's why she said they were formed. I'm not really sure if that's true or not. If you know why, let me know in the comments below. But I digress. My whole point is that she has made plenty of inflammatory statements, anti-America statements, and really disgusting statements that should not be made by anybody, especially not somebody that is in the U.S. government. How can you say that 9/11, the worst terror attack on U.S. soil ever, was some people that did something? So he was speaking about those particular things, and then the crowd, of course, is not going to like that, as most Americans, if you're patriotic at all, are not going to like that. So then the chant of send her back, send her back, send her back. That's how that happened. Now, people are saying, oh, they shouldn't have done that. That's racist. And you putting her life in danger, all this, that, and the third. Please. That's really nothing. OK, people are feeling like that, regardless of race. When I saw the chant happen, I saw a lady that was clearly not a white woman chanting it the loudest. I know people that are from Africa, African immigrants in America, legal immigrants, by the way, who say that she should go back. When I meet most Africans, like any African I've met in my life, in my personal walking life, when I ask them where they're from, they say where they're from in America. Oh, I'm from Baltimore, or I'm from San Francisco, or I'm from Houston. They don't say where they're from as far as in Africa, because they appreciate being American. They had to go through a lot to be able to get here, and this country welcomes them with open arms. If you come here legally, I don't care where you come from or nothing. Go through the process, do everything the right way. You could be from Jupiter. I don't care. I welcome you as an American if you're here legally. However, if you're here illegally, you got to bounce. And if you are not patriotic, then I say you should bounce as well. I don't care if you were born here or not. You could be somebody that has ancestry that goes back to the 1600s in America. If you don't like the country, you can leave. This is not a communist place where you can't escape. You're welcome to leave at any time. That's your decision to make. But for now, I digress. My whole point is that the crowd reacted to the statements that Ilhan had made that were very negative and very anti-American. Now, there's this whole thing about her past, allegedly being married to her brother for citizenship reasons. Now, I'm not sure if that's true or false, but it is rumor that's been said. Okay. There is actual legitimate sources that may suggest it could be true. The main thing here is she filed a joint tax return with her quote unquote husband. And the reason why I say quote unquote husband is because they were not legally married. They had the cultural ceremony, but not a legal marriage. Okay. You could say that, I'm married to X, Y, and Z person. But if you're not legally married, the state does not recognize that. Okay. Now, some would say, the state shouldn't be involved in marriage. Okay, if that's the case, then you shouldn't be filing no tax returns as a married couple, which is what they did. And then when that was found out, which you can't do, she had to get a lawyer to fix it, and she used campaign money to pay the lawyer to fix it. And then on top of that, she was married to somebody else legally. And that is where the whole brother rumor comes in. The person that she was married to legally was listed as a British citizen, but the person had gone to school in Minnesota and went to college in North Dakota. So you talking about somebody that probably lived right next door to her, somebody she probably grew up with. So British citizen, were they here from Britain illegally? What's really going on? I don't know. But the rumors are that could be her brother. Why would you get married to that person legally when you did not get married to your first husband legally? Okay. She got married to that guy after her and her quote unquote husband that she was married to through the cultural thing were separated. And then she got back with her quote unquote husband while she was still legally married to the other person from quote unquote Britain. You see what I'm saying? She did not get divorced to the other person from Britain until 2017. But the whole time she was with the original husband that she got married to through the cultural ceremony. So that's where the genesis of the whole "you married to your brother for citizenship reasons" thing came from. It kind of makes sense. You married to your first husband in the cultural ceremony, never a legal ceremony. Okay. But the second guy you get married to after you quote unquote have a separation from your first husband, you get married to him legally. Why? But I digress. Trump was asked about that by a reporter from OANN, and she even said she asked him about that particular thing. I mean, specifically, what do you know about Ilhan Omar being married to her brother? Matter of fact, watch his clip.
Able to criticize your government? Is there any things for the possibility of the immigration process by Ilhan Omar by possibly marrying a brother?
Well, there's a lot of talk about the fact that she was married to her brother. I know nothing about it. I hear she was married to her brother. You're asking me a question about it. I don't know, but I'm sure that somebody would be looking at that.
Mr. President. Now, it may have been kind of hard to hear, but she was saying, what do you know about Ilhan Omar engaging in, marriage fraud or citizenship fraud as it relates to her being married to her brother? He responded the appropriate way. He was like, look, I don't know anything about that. I'm hearing about she was married to her brother, but I don't know. You're asking me the question, and I really don't know. Now, the media is twisting that and saying Trump repeats debunked rumor about Ilhan Omar being married to her brother. How can anybody really say that with a straight face? He did not repeat it. He was just answering a question, and he said he doesn't know. He didn't say, well, yeah, she's married to her brother, this, that, and the third. He says, I don't know. And it's not some kind of right-wing nut job conspiracy theory. This is actual legitimate reporting that's coming from the ground in Minnesota. So, I mean, Look, the media are just searching for things to get upset about, to spin as racist, even if it doesn't even really exist. The whole comments about, send her back were not racist. The whole comments about go back to your country if you don't like it, that was not racist. All these things are being spun to make all of us look bad. And the whole thing about endangering our life, please. I'm seeing all kind of things from the mainstream media about Trump. People screeching and hollering, making crazy faces, and the squad themselves, which is where this whole thing started, have made a lot of incendiary comments. People like Ayanna Pressley talking about, oh, you got to burn it, this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, person from Antifa actually firebombed or tried to firebomb an ICE facility, burned the car to the ground, and had to get shot and killed. And then when somebody asked them, hey, do you denounce Antifa? Do you denounce the attacks on the ICE facility? Or they want to stay quiet, want to keep their mouth shut? Okay, so we know what's going on here. We know who's really inciting the violence, who's really inciting the negativity in America. It ain't us. It's clear to see who's on the right side of history and who's on the wrong side of it. So that's pretty much all I got to say. What say you? Do you think that the crowd in Greenville, North Carolina were racist, insensitive, or anything else when they chanted the whole send her back? Do you agree with the sentiment of send her back? If you don't like this country, you want to minimize terror, you want to engage in fraud, apparently. If not marriage fraud, definitely tax fraud. How are you going to file a joint tax return to a person you're not legally married to while legally married to somebody else? What's really going on with that whole situation? Okay, these people and the Justice Democrats, which is what the squad is, Justice Democrats are funding them and promoting them. These people want to push the Democratic Party to the far left. I say, let it happen. It's easier for us to run on that. All we got to do is just let them be who they are, take up all the attention and time. I saw a post from Kamala Harris, and I'm like, oh, hey, I forgot about you. Good to see you, buddy. I totally forgot for at least a couple of days that there was even an election process happening. I forgot about the campaign totally. These nut jobs on the left have no chance of being able to win. And those that are in Justice Democrats are going to push the Democratic Party all the way to the left, and they're going to fall off a cliff. And we are going to be on top of the mountain just watching them tumble down as we take over for the next few generations. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.